Hello and welcome to Crafty Christmas, brought to you by the fine folks at Norfolk County Heritage and Culture. Thank you for joining us today. So for our Crafty Christmas, we just need a few things that you might have in your household. So we need some paper, and if you do have fancy paper, that's wonderful. Please feel free to use it. But if you don't and you have plain printing paper, that's great because you can actually color it or add stamps and make it your own. And that makes it really unique and special. So you do need paper. If you have ribbon, that's fun. But again, you can also use pencil crayons or whatever you have in the household. If you have a glue stick or white glue, that would be helpful. Some scissors, a hole punch, and some yarn. So we are going to make a few different crafts together today. So get your items ready and we'll get started. Hi boys and girls, welcome back to A Crafty Christmas. So now we are going to make a cornucopia. So cornucopia is a word that you often hear at Thanksgiving. It means horn of plenty. But in Victorian times, they would actually make a cornucopia or two, and they would hang them on the tree. And these would be filled with little cookies, little candies, and on Christmas morning, the children could help themselves to as many as they like. So it was really fun to wake up and if you had a cornucopia on the tree. So let's make one together. So boys and girls, to make our cornucopia, we need one square piece of paper. So today I'm using a heavier paper. It has a nice pattern on it. I quite like it. Ribbon, if you have it, although you don't need that. If you have a contrasting color of paper that you might want to use, like here's some red, that would look great as well too. And you need a glue stick and some scissors. So a few things that you do need before we get started. So I am going to lay my piece of paper in front of me so it is shaped like a diamond, okay? So we have the point at the top. I'd like to cut my ribbon so it lines up along one edge. Wonderful. And then it kind of goes over the edge a little bit at the end, so maybe about 1 centimeter. So let's cut it there. Perfect. So with that one, I am now going to glue this nice ribbon along one edge. And again, as I said, you can use paper, or you don't even have to do this step if you don't want. So I'm just going to add plenty of glue. One thing with these crafts is we use a lot of glue, so that way we make sure they last the whole season on the tree. Now I just want this ribbon to peek a little bit above the top. What do you think? I think that looks good. And again, as we did before, we're just going to smooth that out. Okay, so you could actually use a contrasting color if you'd like. I'm just going to use the same color. I kind of like that. So I'm just going to overlap it there so it meets the edge of this green first ribbon. Here, overlap, and I'm going to cut it along the edge. Now instead of doing it this way, you could probably pre-measure the edges and just cut your ribbon. That would make it a bit easier. And again, lots of glue. Now the glue goes on quite easily on the paper, but here you're just going to have to carefully put it on here. You don't want to kind of push it, because if you do, oops, our ribbon will come off. Okay. Hopefully this one peeks over the edge. Now boys and girls, this glue stick is pretty amazing because it'll dry and it'll dry clear. So even though I can see the purple there, that's okay. Did you get it over the edge? Perfect. Okay. So just count to 30 again, and let it dry, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, boys and girls, so your cornucopia should be dry now. The ribbon should be dry. So what you're going to do is just simply flip it over. You want the top of the diamond facing away from you, and the ribbons are meeting at the top, okay? So it should be ribbon along the edge here, and then along the lower edge, no ribbon. Now this part is a little tricky, but I think we can all do this if we take our time. So we want to take our right hand, the right point, and we want to fold it inwards so it meets the center of our diamond shape, okay? So really what we're doing is we're making something that's going to look like an ice cream cone. There you go, and you want to just run your finger along the edge to create a nice fold. So we have a nice folded edge. Now, boys and girls, we're going to take the other corner, the opposite, and we are going to fold it in. So you're just going to move it over and fold it so it meets the very edge along here. And take your time with this. And you can fold that down. Okay, so it almost looks like it's giving itself a nice little hug. You're going to open that side, and now we're going to use lots of glue. Okay, so we're going to put a lot of glue along that first fold we made, okay? So this is nice because you can see that we're actually putting it on this beautiful, beautiful paper. And I think you can get a sense that I am putting a lot of glue on here. Now I am going to carefully just dab some glue along the ribbon. Remember, we want to be careful with that ribbon because if we start pushing it, it will come off. It's a different material than our paper, obviously. Okay, so do not be afraid of glue, boys and girls. Use a lot of glue on here. Now we're going to fold this over and we are going to press. And I wonder if at home you can guess what number I'm going to get you to count to. Well, if you've been following along, the magic number is 30. So hold this down and count to 30. Boys and girls, you want to take your time with this part because if you don't, it will just simply open, okay? Okay, boys and girls, so my cornucopia is dry. And what I have done is just added a hole with my hole punch. So just be careful when you're doing that of your ribbon so you don't kind of rip it. Okay, and then the next thing we do is just add a bow and we can tie it to our tree. So last time I used yarn on some of the crafts, but if you have some of this ribbon, you could use that as well. Whatever you have works well. So I'm going to just tie that quickly and we will add it to our tree with our other decorations. And what do you think I should fill it with? I do like chocolate, but it wouldn't last long. Maybe some nice little hard candies that have wrappers on them. Those would be fun. Or maybe some homemade small ginger cookies, really small ones. Okay. So I'm doing a reef knot, which I showed you in our first session when we were making the Victorian fans. So I am going to hang this up next to our Victorian fans and our paper chain. Okay. There we go. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that you will join us for our next session. Thank you.